Hello, everybody, and welcome. As you know, I'm Josh Marsden. I'm one of the co-founders of Active and Thriving, and today is another session of Wellbeing Live, where we spend 15 minutes with a health professional unpacking a topic. So today I'm talking to Robbie Clark, and we're going to be talking about boosting immunity through nutrition. Robbie's a really interesting background. He's Sydney-based accredited practicing dietitian and exercise scientist who graduated with a Bachelor of Exercise Science and Nutrition and a Master's of Nutrition and Dietetics. That's a really big mouthful, Robbie, but not just that. Robbie's also the co-founder of an all-in-one practice management system and telehealth platform called HealthBank. This is something that at Active and Thriving we're really excited about, and it's something that we're looking to partner with to add more value to all of the employees that use Active and Thriving. So, Robbie, you've got a pretty long and interesting career in this space. Can you tell me why you got into dietetics in particular?
Yeah, so my background is an elite athlete. So I'm an ex-elite gymnast. And I think having gone through, anyone who knows what gymnastics is all about, there's a lot of training involved. And that was a big part of my life for many, many years. And through that time, I was always interested as to how nutrition can fuel people, but also affect performance, whether it be from a physical performance perspective or even just a mental performance perspective. So that's why I found an undergraduate degree that combined both the exercise science component and then also the nutrition component. So yeah, that definitely drove me into the industry from the early days.
Fantastic, Robbie. And you spent so much time doing a lot of like one-to-one sessions with people, but also group work, corporate work. And now you're actually moving into the digital space to bring a large number of allied health professionals together, give access across Australia, but then ultimately globally. I guess what led to that push?
Yeah, so as soon as I graduated from my dietetics degree, I knew I wanted to work in private practice. My personality was really suited to more one-on-one interaction or group interactions, and making a real difference in people's lives in terms of their health. So I was still in private practice, but many years working in clinics where I had to conform to one specific practice management system that really did nothing for my industry. I then wanted to basically develop my own that would assist other allied health professionals. So that's what led me to do HealthBank. And then we brought in telehealth as an embedded solution. And this was all pre-COVID too. So you can only imagine that through COVID, a lot of people were using telehealth or video consultations. So very fortunate to fall into that area.
Make your own. I think, Robbie, on that one. It's a space that's going to continue to grow. So we'll stay tuned on that. Now let's get into why everybody's jumped on the call today. Let's talk about the immune system. So can you break it down to us really simply, like what does the immune system actually do for us?
Yeah, so a lot of people think this is an area that is really complicated, but to make it really simple, it's basically our body's defense against disease. And when we talk about immunity, we're really focusing on our body's white blood cells. These guys are the ones who go out to fight off any foreign invaders, viruses, bacteria, pathogens, and it really helps the body recover from any form of illness as well as injury. And the thing that we should probably think about is the question that should really be asked is what factors actually compromise our immune system in the first place, or basically weaken our immune system. And there are many, but the main ones are things like stress. People kind of really overlook stress, but stress is such an inflammatory response. And this includes things like psychological stress, emotional stress, or even physical stress on the body. Then we've got general inflammation, whether that be from injury or a condition, a health condition or disease. Poor nutrition, obviously. So things like people who might eat a lot of processed foods, excessive amounts of saturated fats or trans fats from certain foods, and also people who may have a very low intake of fruits and vegetables. Also, poor hydration status, particularly through water, and also low protein. And then finally, the other things that are very important that weaken our immune system, if you already have a chronic health condition, so things like cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, we need to take that into consideration as well. Poor sleep. People don't even really consider their sleep routine or habits. And then just things like body composition. So people who are considered to be either overweight or underweight will definitely have a compromised immune system compared to someone who is of healthy weight. And then finally, lifestyle factors. So people who might smoke, and then people who might have a high intake or high frequency of alcohol consumption, and also illicit use of, use of illicit or recreational drug use, and even non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs as well can be problematic.
There's a lot going on there, Robbie, that can influence our immune system. As you're speaking, it just kind of made me think back to corporate life and how, I guess, we're speaking a lot about burnout at the moment and workload. And you often hear these stories of colleagues or people you know, or it might have happened to yourself, where you've got this really big project due or big thing you're working towards, you're doing long hours, it's very stressful, but then you've got a holiday booked straight after that. So you're working up until that point in time, and you manage to get it in under all that pressure. But then once you go onto holidays, you end up sick for your whole holidays. Is this something that's likely to be immune related?
Absolutely. And the reason being is because acute stress, which is short-term stress, is actually quite beneficial for our bodies and very healthy. But as you say, if there is a lead up of ongoing chronic stress, which is a bit longer term, then our body is completely and consistently being depleted. And that's a hormonal response first and foremost, with our adrenal glands producing our stress hormone cortisol. And that then interrupts our sleep. It interrupts our metabolic processes in our body and also our immune system. So as soon as our body has the chance to relax and breathe, and it's not pushing out or surging all these hormones that it's become used to, it then just really comes down like a ton of bricks. And that's when people start experiencing more like a cold or flu-like symptoms. And happy to talk about the signs and symptoms of a weakened immune system as well.
Yeah, let's jump into that, Robbie. So what can we look out for, maybe for ourselves, but then perhaps our family members, of a weakened immune system?
Yeah, this is really important because there are many factors here at play, and it's just good to pick up on some signs and be like, oh, maybe I do have a weakened immune system and I should do something about it. So the main ones are things like frequent or recurring infections. So this could be like, even just the common colds or even asthma playing up. People might be prone to the common colds as well. So if you're someone who's likely to pick up someone, if your colleague next to you or your family member or loved one has a cold, and then you'll get it straight away, then that's also another sign. Frequent fatigue and tiredness is definitely one. And that's not just from a lack of sleep or poor sleep, it's just ongoing. If you have certain wounds that aren't healing quickly, and so really take its time to heal, whether it be even like a mosquito bite that you've scratched and then it just doesn't heal, that's definitely a sign of a weakened immune system. Cold sores is one as well. I see so many clients that just go, oh, I got another cold sore and it just keeps coming back. That's definitely one, because that's a sign of the herpesvirus. It's a strain of the herpesvirus, and obviously viruses impact our immune system. So if you have recurring cold sores, that's a sign. Then if you have frequent gut issues, so things like bloating, reflux, diarrhea, constipation, or a mix of the two, gas, these are all things that should be taken note of as well. Joint aches and pains. Skin is a really great one to look at. So if you have frequent breakouts with acne or pimples, eczema as well, if that flares up for people, that's a very good sign. And then finally, just if you experience high and regular stress, you can pretty much guarantee your immune system will be compromised. And then just sinus congestion and runny noses as well.
Sounds like pretty much all the negative factors that we can put onto our body will have an immune response, eh?
Yeah. Sadly, yes.
All right, let's move on to the good stuff then. So what foods and nutrients are available to boost our immune system and also, I guess, help recover if we do know it's depleted?
Yeah, so just before I jump into that, people will need to understand that malnutrition causes that decline in immune function, and therefore it increases our susceptibility to infection. So malnutrition basically means you're not getting enough of certain nutrients, so that then leads to nutrient deficiencies. And when we talk about that, we're talking about vitamins and minerals that come predominantly from fruits and vegetables. So whenever I talk about immunity, I want people to really think about fruits and veggies, fruit and veg, and then colors. So colors are our friends. And therefore, when I'm telling people and educating them about consuming fruits and vegetables, I break it down and keep it simple by saying, if you are eating a rainbow a day, then you're really ticking all the boxes. So it's what we can do to boost our immune system is making sure that we're consuming high quantities of vegetables and also fruits throughout the day. And then that is going to provide us the vitamins, like specifically vitamin C, which is a very potent antioxidant. And this is found in a lot of our orange, red, and yellow-based vegetables. And then you've also got vitamin E, which is also a very potent antioxidant. And these, being a fat-soluble vitamin, these come from a lot of things like nuts and seeds, which a lot of people just may avoid because they don't like it. They might be allergic to them, or they just don't know how to incorporate them into their diet. Vitamin Bs, so all your B complex vitamins are really important as well. Vitamin D is probably the most important nutrient to boost our immune system. And as most people might know, vitamin D predominantly comes from absorbing those UVA rays from the sun. So it's spending at least 8 to 10 minutes without any protection in the sun is actually very important, but we do need to be sun safe at the same time. So do not get burnt, but at least get some exposure to our arms and our legs where we can really optimize our vitamin D status. And then finally, things like zinc. Zinc is also a very important nutrient along with selenium. So these, we find these in things like zinc in a lot of animal-based foods, so oysters, beef, lamb, but also nuts and seeds and pork, chicken, and also spinach. We have quite high amounts. Selenium, very high in nuts and seeds. Sardines, tuna, a lot of our oily fish from seafood is also very important. And even wholemeal bread is also good. So as you can see, there are so many foods that we could be consuming. Then I start looking at things like foods that are very specific to be antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and antiviral. And these are things like garlic, turmeric, ginger, and then even bone broths are good as well. So they are very targeted to help boost our immune system. But if I was to pick one out of the lot, or maybe two, garlic and turmeric are just probably really fantastic and easy to actually incorporate in a lot of food dishes as well.
Thanks, Robbie. And I really love the expression about eating the rainbow. And it just got me thinking, okay, there's a lot of people that do eat vegetables on a regular basis, but it is very much the same couple of vegetables. So it might be broccoli and sweet potato and carrot, and not venturing into the reds and purples and so forth. Do you have any easy hacks, I guess, where people can get some quick wins in increasing the variety and the colors of the rainbow they have?
Absolutely. So especially if you have a family, it's really hard to cater to everyone's needs, especially if you have toddlers or even young children who are fussy eaters. So this is a big part of my practice, and it's all about disguising vegetables. And it's a horrible way of saying, to eat more vegetables, you've got to disguise them. But in a lot of cases, it works. So for example, if you're making a typical bolognese sauce with minced tomato base, you can really incorporate some extra vegetables. So really blend them up finely, whether it's in a blender or a food processor, or even just grating. So things like carrots, zucchinis, celery, fennel, all things that actually work and pair really well with that bolognese sauce. The next thing you know, you probably have about 5-6 different vegetables in the sauce itself. So really, really great way of incorporating some extra things. Then if you find that you're not meeting your vegetable requirements in your main meals, try to incorporate them through snacks. So things like having hummus with cut up vegetable sticks, and that is endless. You've got capsicums, you've got cucumber, celery, carrots, snow peas. So the list is endless with the type of vegetables you can use to dip. And if you're not a fan of vegetables, choose a dip like hummus that is very strong flavors that might disguise the taste of those vegetables. That's another hack and trick as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, the hummus and vegetable dips is a great one. It's my first transition through uni to get more vegetables actually went that way.
Yeah.
Thanks for all that, Robbie. So my takeaways personally is I'm going to add more garlic and more turmeric to everything. But what would be, if there was one takeaway people can take from your session on increase and improving immunity, what might that be?
Well, I have to also go off the statistics of Australia, and sadly, it's a very, very poor intake of fruit and vegetables. And there are a lot of myths out there that, fruit causes weight gain. So people also avoid these type of nutrients and foods in their diet. So number one takeaway from this is, first and foremost, just try to increase your vegetable intake, but also variety of choices throughout the day. That's a perfect way to start. And the same as fruit as well. And that's going to be a little bit less than vegetable intake, obviously. But as soon as you start increasing those two food groups more, you'll find that the antioxidants, the vitamins, the minerals that you get from them, you're going to naturally boost your immune system.
Awesome, Robbie. So let's all think about that rainbow. Appreciate you being generous with your time. And once again, great to have everybody jump on the call today. Hope you all have a great day, and see you in a month.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.